Hello and welcome to Class Time, your daily classroom for CSEC and CAPE students. Today's lesson is CSEC Theatre Arts. I am Simone Bennett. Today we'll be looking at character analysis. All right, so today's objectives, I'm going to ask you to read along with me. Let's go. We should be able to define character analysis, list the different areas of character, analyze a character. We have read our objectives for today, and we have outlined that our topic for today is character analysis. Once again, we have our drama tagline, and we'd like to just say that before we continue. So you're going to be repeating, okay? Driving the vehicle of expression to remove conflict with resolution. Molding and nurturing new talents, soaring on the wings of artistic excellence. Excellent. How do we define a character? In order to know what a character analysis is, it's very important that we find out what a character is, because we're not taking it for granted that we all know or remember what a character is. So, how do we define a character? A person that plays a role in a dramatic composition. Yes. So, you know that a character has to take on certain personalities. A character has to have a specific way of walking, or their gait has to have a specific way of speaking. So an actor takes on the role of a character. So we don't want to confuse an actor with a character. A character is made up. The actor is the person, and the character is the role that is being portrayed. Good? So then, what is character analysis? Let us find out. This here says to examine a character in depth, using clues from the story to provide information on a character's personality. Do you agree? Yes. So these are the areas of a character that we must look at in order to adequately analyze them. So the first area is the psychological aspect. Then we have the intellectual aspect. Then we have the moral aspect, the physical aspect of the character, and the social status. Now, if you are observing carefully, you would realize that a word is being spelled on the vertical plane. Let us go right back here. Yes, so look at the word. This acronym here spells a specific word that some persons know too much about. So that word is PIMS, and this is just for us to remember what the different areas are. Okay? So let us find out what each of these areas entail. So PIMS, psychological, the I, intellectual, the M, moral, P, the physical aspect, and the S, social status. Let us take a read of the psychological aspect of the character. This area deals with the mind of the character. This is where the emotions, habits, desires, motives, likes, and dislikes are revealed. In addition, it informs us of the mental state of the character, whether he or she is sane or insane, confused, whether the character is sad, happy. It deals with the emotions. It deals with our minds. What is the mood that the character is in? All of these areas, all of these are found in the psychological aspect of the character. Intellectual aspect of the character. Let's read together. This shows the level of intelligence that the character possesses. It highlights whether or not he or she is smart, exhibits common sense, or makes wise decision. So that is the intellectual aspect of the character. Does the character make sense? Is he or she, smart, or on the other side of smart? So that is the area that takes care of intellectual aspect of the character. All right, we just hop across to the physical aspect of the character. This is the appearance of the character. It shows the character's height, the character's size, the character's gait. For example, he or she might have a scar, a birthmark, tattoos, and physical impairments. So the character might have an issue with his or her knee, so they might carry a stick. That would be a prop that complements the kind of disorder or disability that the character has. The character may be blind, so that you will find them walking with a stick. The character might have had a neck injury, and they would be wearing that neck brace. So the physical aspect of the character, there are certain props that are used to enhance the character there. The social aspect of the character, this speaks to the level of interaction between the characters, their communication skills, how they relate to people that are around them. Relationships with each other, yes. Also, it shows the social standing of the characters and conveying their class or their strata, their station in life. So is the character considered to be a bourgeois? Are they upper class? Are they middle class? Are they lower class? So this area takes care of that. So what the next area that we're going to be looking at is the moral area. The moral aspect of the character deals with the values that the characters possess, the level of decency and integrity he or she upholds. It conveys characters' religious beliefs, the level of discipline, and their general approach to the norms of society. So we want to look at the character and ask questions like, is this a decent character based on the choices that they're making, based on the way they view life, their spirituality? Is this character a person who has strong morals, or do you consider the morals to be on the poorer side? So this is what this area entails. All right, we're going to be taking a quick look at this poem. It's entitled, I Can't Think What He Sees in Her. Jealousy is an awful thing and foreign to my nature. I'd punish it by law if I were in the legislature. One can't have all of everything, and wanting it is mean. But I think there is a limit, and I speak of Miss Devine. I'm not a jealous woman, but I can't see what he sees in her. I can't see what he sees in her. If she was something striking, I could understand the liking, and I wouldn't have a word to say to that. I'm not a jealous woman, but I can't see what he sees in her. I can't see what he sees in her. If she was something striking, then I could understand the liking, and I wouldn't have a word to say to that. But I can't see why he's fond of that objectionable blonde, that fluffy little, stuffy little, flashy little, trashy little, creepy, crawly, music bally, horrid little cat. Oh, I wouldn't say a word against the girl, be sure of that. It's not the creature's fault that she has the manners of a rat. Her dresses may be dowdy, but her hair is always new. And if she squints a little, many people do. I'm not a jealous woman, but I can't see what he sees in her. I can't see what he sees in her. I can't see what he sees in her. Oh, he's absolutely free. There's no bitterness in me. Though an ordinary woman would explode, I'd only like to know what he sees in such a crow as that insinuating, calculating, irritating, titivating, sleepy little, creepy little, sticky little toad. So we're going to be dissecting the poem now, and we're going to be looking at the different areas that are being mentioned here. Now, the first line says, jealousy is an awful thing and foreign to my nature. Jealousy, let us look at the word jealousy. What aspect of the areas of a character would that be linked to? Being jealous. Would it be the physical aspect of the character? Well, that could be displayed in the physicality, okay? But the jealousy is stemming from the psychological area of the character. All right? The second line says, I'd punish it by law if I were in the legislature. If you're going to be punishing someone, what aspect of the character could that be matched up with? All right? It could be morals. And there are some areas of it that could be psychological. All right? Because you are talking about allowing someone to go through something, because if they are being punished, it's going to affect their mind. It's going to affect their mentality. One can't have all of everything, and wanting it is mean. We could also think on the area that is called moral for that aspect as well. All right? I'm not a jealous woman, but I can see what he sees in her. Now, the fact that she's saying that she's not jealous, and apparently she is, based on, the nature of the poem, right? He can't see what he sees in her. She made mention of her, what aspect of the character? When she talks about her dresses and her hair, what aspect of the character? The physical. Beautiful, you're learning. So, there are going to be obvious factors about the character, but there are also some areas that we will have to do some deep observation so that we can get the robust details that we need. This aspect is speaking largely about the physical aspect of the character, her dresses, how they're dowdy. But let us talk about the nature of the character's dresses, the character that is being mentioned. This person that the character is making mention of. The fact that she wears nice dresses, how do you think her personality would be like? Friendly, cool, calm, engaging, a warm person. Yes. So we also want to allow the character to, if we're going to be creating a character, which is a whole other topic by itself, we would want to allow the character to be attired in costumes that suit their personalities. All right? So that is alluding to that in that poem. We're going to be hopping across to another poem that is written in Jamaican dialect. So once again, please read with me. Me glad to see you come back, boy, but Lord, you let me down. Me shame you till all of my proudness drop a ground. You mean you go to America and spend 6 whole months there and come back not a piece better than how you did go away? Why, you no shame. It's so you come after you tan so long. Not even like a language, boy. Not even like a twang. Let us go line by line again. Me glad to see you come back, boy. But Lord, you let me down. The fact that the person is happy, that emotion, happiness, what aspect of the character is that talking about? Excellent. We're talking about the psychological area of the character. So once we see that, we know right away that that has something to do with is psychology. Me proud of you. You let me down. Me shame of you till all of my proudness drop a gun. Once again, being embarrassed. What area would that be alluding to? The psychological area. You're on a roll. You're doing great. You mean you go to America and spend 6 whole months there and come back not a piece better than how you did go away? Boy, you're not shame. Word shame again. And your sister will work only 1 week with American. She talks so nice now that you don't have the juice to understand. Boy, you couldn't improve yourself and you get so much pay. When you're talking about the monetary things now, what aspect of the character are we trying to figure out? Tell me. Yes, absolutely. We're talking about the status, you know, whether the person is rich or poor, upper class, middle class, or lower class. So we would zoom in on that area. Boy, you couldn't improve yourself and you get so much pay. You go to America and spend 6 months there and come back ugly same way. Ugly. Ugly. Now, if we're to look at the word ugly in 2 ways, the literal and the figurative, we could say that a person's personality can be ugly. Their character can be ugly. But when we're talking about the literal aspect, it would be the appearance of the character. So what would you deem to be ugly physically? All right, that's for you to think about some other time. Not even a draped trousers or a past the rhythm coat. Now, a lot of us might not know what a draped trousers is or a past the rhythm coat, but it would be a type of costume that would be worn in previous eras, okay? But of course, it's likely that these things will come back because it's fashion. Boy, you not even get a gold teeth or a gold chain around your throat. That kind of thinking would allow one to think of a person as rich or poor. Once you're wearing fancy jewelry, once you're clad in nice clothing, they will think of you as being rich or in an upper class, which is not always true. All right? Suppose me pass and go introduce you to a stranger, as me lamented son what lately come from America. Them woulda laugh after me, boy. Me couldn't tell them so. Them woulda say you lie, you was a spend time back a Moko. No back answer me, boy. You talk too bad. Shut up your mouth. Now, what a hypocrisy. What an hypocrisy, huh? Now, the fact that she said he speaks badly, what area of the character would that be linked to? It could be the intellectual area of the character, or it could be a case where he has a speech impediment, and that would be linked to the psychological aspect of the character. I don't know how you and your papa go and make it out. If you want to please him, make him think you bring back something new. You always call him Pa. This evening, when him come, say Pooh. Now, let us think about the character. Maybe the character could be, tell me some things, some possible characters that you think would fit this person. A mother, an aunt, a cousin, a neighbor. It could be a mother. But the mother is correcting the son, and she's not anything better. So it is important that when we are giving details about a character, that we look at the different levels, we look at the level of interaction and relationship between characters, because it will also help you to give a reasonable analysis. All right, so we're on to the quick recap. What did we say a character analysis is? Really examining a character, digging deep, doing some observing, looking at some fine details about the character, and the areas to look at or to observe are the psychological area. And what did I say the acronym is for us to be able to remember it easily? PIMPS, yes, that word. PIMPS, psychological, intellectual, moral, physical, and social status. So once again, let us look back on the definition for character analysis to examine a character in depth using clues from a story to provide information on the character's personality. So that's a character analysis. And analysis has to be deep. We cannot just look at the thing from the surface level. We have to dig deep, give details, robust discussion. So here we have the acronym. The psychological area of the character. This area deals with the mind of the character. This is where the emotions, the habits, the motives, the likes and dislikes are revealed. And also it informs of the mental state of the character, whether he or she is sane or insane. It talks about the emotions, the desires of the character, what the character likes, what the character dislikes, feelings, that area. The intellectual aspect of the character now, the level of intelligence. Does this character make wise decisions? It shows the level of intelligence that the character possesses. It highlights whether or not he or she is smart, exhibits common sense, or makes wise decisions. So is the character bright? Is he or she slow? Does this character has mental issues? Do they have ADHD or those other conditions? You know, that area would take care of the psychological. The moral aspect of the character, this deals with the values that the character possesses, the level of decency and integrity that he or she upholds. It conveys the character's religious beliefs, the level of discipline, or their general approach to the norms of society. Is the character quick to take things that doesn't belong? Is he or she a thief, a murderer, a rapist? Those areas will take in the moral aspect of the character. Now we will find that we would have similarities between the areas depending on the nature of the character or the idiosyncrasy of the character. So that concludes it for the moral aspect of the character. If you're a student, do you cheat on exams? Moral, right? Do you practice to tell lie? Are you mendacious? That would be a part of the moral. The physical aspect, this is the appearance of the character, the height, the size, and the gait. And what did we say the word gait means again? Gait, G-A-I-T. This has to do with how the character walks, right? Does the character walk with a limp? Does the character crouch? You know, and this will also help to define the age of the character. So if we have an elderly person, if we are creating a character and we want to portray an elderly person, we can distort the body to give the illusion that this person is really an old person. So they might crouch, they might walk with the chest forward, you know, any sort of distortion to show that we're trying to establish this kind of character. If the character is a thug, how would the character position his or her body, right? Because we have female thugs too. So, you know, the physical aspect of the character will take in that information. Also, if the character wears accessories, the character has distinctive marks on the skin, whether it be a birthmark, a scar above the eye, whether it be tattoos. So that area takes care. The size of the character. And according to the size of the character, we want to allow the character to move in a particular way to suggest that the character is managing his or her body weight. So if the person is huge, for want of a better word, you know, we want to allow the character's gait to reflect that. It doesn't happen all the time where big persons, you know, walk slowly or breathe heavily, but you want to create that illusion, you know, that the person is moving according to their size. So it could be a short person, slim built, sort of like somebody who is a jockey, you know, they're always short and slim. So if we, for example, are creating a character who is a jockey, we could say, okay, you're short, you're slim, so you could fit that role really well. All right, so that takes care of the physical aspect. He or she might have a scar birthmark, as we've said before, tattoos, and physical impairments. We're coming down nicely. The social aspect of the character. This speaks to the level of interaction between characters, their communication skills, and the relationships with each other. It also shows the social standing of the character and conveys their class in society. So, are these characters, upscale, as we would say? Are they rich? Are they poor? What kind of house do they live in? What kind of community do they live in? How do they dress? Those are some of the indications that we can look at that will give us details of their social class. Also, the speech pattern of individuals might allude to that kind of information, though it is not always true. But once a person speaks well and dresses well, then we are quick to think that this person is rich, which is not always the case. But if we are creating a character, we could choose to do that so that we can establish the nature of the person. So the social aspect has to do largely with the balance between interaction as well as their station in life. But the status now is really about the assets, what's your net worth? Are you, this rich person who has a large sum of money in the bank? You know what I mean? So that takes care of the social aspect and the status of the character. Now for the CXC Theatre Arts exam, let me remind you students that there are 3 components, right? We have the stagecraft, we have dance, and we have drama. For the drama students and the dance students, you might find that there are similarities with the questions, right? But you want to observe some critical areas to observe: the movements of the characters or the dancers, the costumes that are used, and you want to look at whether or not the character is old, young, middle-aged, and that would come out in the physical aspect of the character. All right, so for the exam, think critically, ensure that you read the questions carefully, try to dissect the information that you're given there, and also to explain in detail. Do not give a short answer. You want to make sure that you're giving your information in a robust way. Dig deep, be very detailed, so you can get the maximum marks that you would need. All right? So ensure that you read the questions carefully, whether they be essay-type questions, short answers, or multiple choice. You have to be able to read your questions carefully so that you don't make any mistake where that is concerned. As we say in theater, for the exams that are coming up, break a leg, and that means do well in case somebody really wants to break a leg. All right? That means do well, do your best, and ensure that you crop the maximum marks that you can possibly get on your CXC examinations.